Hi guys, now let's learn what is machine learning. Have you ever wondered how ChatGPT seems like it actually understands you? Or how AI tools like Gemini can look at a picture and quickly tell you exactly what kind of it is? It feels almost magical, right? But the real magic is these machines aren't actually understanding the whole world like humans do. In fact, they are faking it till they make it. Let me explain. Think about when you were a baby. You didn't know who was who or what was what. You just started recognizing faces, maybe your parents, maybe your siblings. If, say, you grew up only seeing your own family, you might think everyone looks like your parents. Then, as you saw more people, different hair, skin colors, body shapes, you realized humans come in all varieties. You redefined your concept of a person by seeing more examples. Machines learn almost the same way. If a computer sees just one picture of, say, Rachel Green from Friends, and you label it as human, it will think Rachel Green is the only human on the earth. Give it 100,000 photos of all sorts of humans, different ages, ethnicities, heights, and so on, and teach it this is a human. Now the machine builds a much broader, more flexible idea of what a human is. What's the takeaway from this? Machine gets better the more data we give them. Their worldview expands just as R does with more experience. But it can't be that simple. Here's some kicker. The quality of the data matters as well. Imagine a child is taught that bananas are apples. Every time they see a banana, they'll excitedly tell everyone, look, an apple, until someone corrects them. Enough corrections and the child updates their knowledge. Oh, that yellow fruit is a banana, not an apple. Machines do this too. They learn from their mistakes by trial and error, correction, and repetition. So, the three basic steps in machine learning are: firstly, gather the data. We collect lots of correctly labeled data. For example, thousands of photos labeled as dogs or cats or etc. Then next, measure the error. We need a way to score or grade how much the machine is getting wrong. This is called a cost function. Last but not the least, train and improve. Using feedback, the machine tweaks its internal settings to try to reduce these errors, constantly thriving to get better at the task. Now we understood that we need some grade to measure the error. What is that? We know that it is called cost function. Now let's see what is cost in machine learning. When machine first starts, its predictions are typically terrible, like a student who keep failing quizzes. We punish the machine not by making it sit in detention, but by telling it exactly how wrong it was. The amount of wrongness, that's called cost. Let's say a model tries to classify three photos of dogs, but calls all of them cats. That's three strikes, 0 out of 3 right. The cost here is 3 wrong out of 3 attempts. A high cost means lot of mistakes. A low cost means it's doing well. Just like getting a good grade in class. The entire goal: minimize the cost, get as many answers correct as possible. Now let's see a neural network like a simplified human brain. Here's a neat analogy. Neural networks, the brains behind these AI tools which we see in our daily life right now, are inspired by our own brains. While we have billions of neurons connected in complex ways, AI models use their own versions called parameters. For big models, these can number in the billions. When an AI makes a prediction, all these parameters work together to come up with an answer, just like your brain. The cost function sees how far off the answer is, then nudges the parameters to do better next time. Now, one question here: can anyone minimize the cost? With billions of parameters, could a human ever tune these things by hand? No way. That's why we rely on computers to automatically adjust these things step by step using powerful algorithms. So now let's sum it up what we have learned here. So machine learning is basically a supercharged version of what humans do every day. See data, make guesses, get corrected, and gradually get better at recognizing patterns in the world. We feed machines tons of label data. We give them a grade or cost for each guess. Through a lot of trial, error, and math, the machine tweaks itself to minimize the mistakes. Eventually, it gets pretty darn good, sometimes as good as or even better than a human at specific tasks. And that, at its core, is how machine learning works. Actually, pretty human after all, right? Correct. And that's a wrap on what machine learning is all about. Up next, we'll be diving into the math stuff. Yep, matrices and derivatives. But don't worry, we'll make it as painless as possible, maybe even fun. So stick around and get ready to peek behind the curtain of what's really going inside a neural network. Catch you in the next one. Till then, keep learning, keep coding, and maybe don't run away from math just yet. Thanks for watching.